Sometimes you gotta pee, people are knocking on the fucking door, you know, so. But, you know, I want to tell you guys the whole thing, how we'll put this together. About 4 or 5 years ago, I went to my mailbox, right? Like some people wake up in the morning, they go to the fucking mailbox. It's a true story. I went to my mailbox, like just a regular hunky-dory day. And I opened the mailbox and I seen a card from a friend of mine in Jersey who's fucking nuts. They call him Bonehead. I didn't even know he could write, never mind a fucking letter. All right, he was a plumber, very successful, but I didn't know about his academic fucking skills, you know? So I open up the envelope and it's like, hey, Coco, miss you and all this. But in the bottom, there was like a wrapped up piece of paper wrapped up around something. So I just opened the envelope and shut it and went upstairs to my fucking apartment, you know? I knew there was yum-yums in there. I just didn't know what quality. I didn't know what quality yum-yums they were. So I go upstairs and I fucking take the card down. My wife's at work and I look out and it's this fucking brown powder. And I taste it and I'm like, this ain't Coke. I go, this motherfucker sent me heroin in the mail. I go, this motherfucker sent me heroin in the mail. So what happened was that weekend, his brother called me and he goes, guess what? Bonehead moved back from Vegas. So I called the house to talk to him. Bonehead, you're back. He was staying at his mom's for a couple of days. I'm like, so what do you think of Jersey? He's like, it's great, dog. I go, Jersey's great compared to Vegas? He's like, dog, they're selling $7 bags of heroin in Newark. And I'm like, so that's why you're happy? He's like, oh, it cuts the fucking cost. I don't have to go into the city. And I could take the train and, you know, I could catch a movie. And this motherfucker was serious. And I'm like, that's great, bro. You know, you're having a great time with your life, you know? And right away he goes, you want some? He goes, I'll send you out some $7 bags. You know how somebody says to you, you want to go to the beach? You're like, yeah, call me, we'll do lunch. I was like, yeah, send some. I thought he was gonna get a bag and nod off and fall asleep. This motherfucker sent it. Right, so at this time, guys, this is 2007, I'm doing a gram of coke a night. The end of the night, just after comedy, I'd stop at the fucking brother's house, El Compadre, and I'd get a gram of blow. Every fucking night, 6 nights a week. One night I'd take off, the Lord's Day, Sunday, because you can't do blow on the Lord's Day. It's bad luck. You can't start Monday with that shit in your system. So this is fucking serious, guys. Here I am doing movies and comedy, and I'm doing a gram of blow every night like nothing. Like, and if I was out, I'd just swing by the drug dealer's house. But if I was home, I would be okay till about 5 after 8. Then I'd start scratching and shit. And I look at my wife, you must be tired. She's like, no, I'm wide awake. You're fucking tired. I could see it. It's time for you to go to sleep and shit. And I would get dressed, and I couldn't even I wouldn't even stop for red lights. I wouldn't stop till I got to the ATM machine. I wouldn't stop on Sunset. I would go to by Rock and Roll Rouse, the little ATM machine, the corner on Sunset there in Poinsettia. I would go there, get back in the car, and I wouldn't stop for another red light till I got to the drug dealer's house. Fuck lights and nothing. I was unconscious. I would just cut people off. Fuck you. No lights, lefts, fucking no license, no insurance. That's how I roll. If you're gonna raise the stakes, bitch. I just got my license fucking 3 years ago. So for 12 years, I drove around LA with nothing. And I get pulled over. Oh, I got my license at home. All right, do 80 next time. Yes, sir. Fuck you. Because a lot of people don't know, if you don't have alcohol in your breath on Fridays and Saturdays, they won't give you a ticket in LA on the freeways because they ain't got time. So if you just open the door, I'm doing 100 officer, I'm sorry. I gotta take a shit, because that always works. Like, always worked for me. Always worked for me, dog. They see the stomach and you're like, I gotta take a shit, and you push it out. And you better hurry up if you're gonna give me a ticket, because I'm gonna shit right here. And they'll say, have a good night, go ahead. There's a bathroom at the McDonald's up the... So I was really doing a gram of coke. So when I got this fucking package of heroin, he sent me 3 little ones. I was like, oh my God, what the fuck am I gonna do? Heroin, I haven't done heroin in a long fucking time. Should I throw it away? Fuck no. So I waited till my wife went to bed. She was my girlfriend at the time, and I went in the bathroom, I did a little fucking bump, just a little bump of heroin, and I was like, whew, and all of a sudden the room started spinning and my pressure went down, and I got on my hands and knees and I barfed a little bit, but after I barfed and wiped my face, it was party time, bitches, you know what I'm saying? That's when you know you're high. Once you get that puke and you, all right. And I went out there and I went on the computer and I played with the cats and I would nod a little bit and pop up again and I put my iPod on and I listened to the Beatles and I tripped a little bit, whatever the fuck was going on. I cried and, you know, because it takes you through this fucking thing and I felt warm and I felt like, who's holding me, Jesus? No, Satan, you know? And I fucking came down and went to bed and then I said, fuck it. And for some reason that whole week I didn't do coke. Like that heroin, I didn't do coke that whole week. And then the second week, I had 2 packages left. So I said, fuck it. If you do heroin 2 days in a row, you get addicted. You got to break it up a little bit. You know, you got to, if not, your bones crave it. So I waited till Mondays. And for the first week, I just smoked pot. The second week, I did a $10 bag of heroin, $7, and boom. That whole week, I didn't do coke again. This time, I didn't puke. I was high, though. Third week, I finished the fucking $7 bag, got high as a motherfucker, drooled on myself. But I wrote some jokes, and I wrote some deep stuff about my wife and my daughter and God and the devil, and you know, you just start. And that Tuesday morning, I'm like, holy fuck, ever since I've been doing heroin, I stopped doing coke. That's how I'm gonna stop doing coke. I'm gonna do heroin. This is genius. Nobody's invented this rehab. This is the fucking surefire way to get off fucking coke, is to do heroin. Oh my fucking God. Oh my fucking God, you know? And after 3 days of talking to myself, telling me that the heroin got me off the blow, finally, a hand came up and smacked me and it was like, Joey, get your fucking life together. Heroin is not gonna get you off cocaine. It was mind fucking me for a couple of weeks, you know, like, oh, I'm off the coke. And you know what? That whole summer, like that was July and August, I think I only did coke like 2 or 3 times and I really didn't even like it. And I blamed it on the heroin. I'm like, maybe I'm on my way. Maybe this fucking saved my life. But it's crazy because as a kid, I never thought anything, I didn't think you did drugs until you put something in your nose. That was my thinking. Like, I was an athlete growing up, so I never even thought of fucking drugs. Drugs were around me in my house. My mom smoked pot. She had a bar. People did blow. I knew it. They would have white rings around their fucking nose. You know what I'm saying? My mom would have white rings around her nose. I caught her doing coke. So that was the reason why I hated drugs even more growing up. Like till today, I can't even imagine, I can't even believe I ever fucking got involved with drugs because I hated them so much as a kid. Because I used to tell my mom from time to time, yo, wipe your fucking nose. When I was like 10, I'd tell her, wipe your nose. There's something on your nose. And I knew what was on her fucking nose. She'd make believe like, oh, I was dusting. You know, you weren't fucking dusting. You weren't fucking dusting. It's 2 in the morning at a bar. Nobody dusts at a fucking bar. And then as I got older, I knew they dealt coke, and my uncles, they were Cuban. That's what they did. So I didn't want to do that shit. You know, I was like, fuck it. So the first time, I'm like you guys, I smoked pot. That's it. Somebody came up to you and said, you want to get high? You could slam dunk. You know, I always wanted to slam dunk. I could touch the rim in the 8th grade. And they're like, if you fucking smoke dope, maybe the air will take you up. And I was like, fuck it, let me get that weed. And I smoked, a half a joint. I giggled. Remember when you first got high, how fun it was? It was so innocent. You prepared yourself. You had the Visine, the cologne, the mouthwash. You had everything, rolling papers. You hid it outside your mom's house. So when you walked in, nobody knew you were high and shit. It used to be fun, remember? You smoked pot, you went and giggled at the old fucking waitress when she came, hi, can I help you? Call me back when you grow up or some shit, you know? That's how it starts. That's how it starts for everybody. It's a great fucking time. But then we had this thing growing up when I was in the 8th grade, like, that people would talk about. It was called THC Crystal. Which, let's break it down. It was fucking animal tranquilizer. That's it. They sold it as, oh my God, it's this stuff. You take stems from weed and you boil the stems, then you scrape the sides and you freeze it and you snort it. Right. Go home and boil stems and see what comes out and see if you get fucking high. And that's the first thing ever I put in my nose freshman year. I don't even know why I did it. I was with a bunch of kids and they were like, dog, you gotta try this shit. I'm like, fuck that shit. I'm not putting nothing on my nose. And one night they're like, it's fun. We'll go into the city into a peep show. We'll fucking rock. And I'm like, all right, let's do it. I did a little line. And it was tremendous. It felt like, I don't even know, like you just blacked out for 4 fucking hours. But I guess that was cool at the time. Like it was like your mind was taking pictures. You weren't anywhere. Like everything was in pictures, like and we would be in the 8th grade, freshman year, and we'd do it 4 ways, $10, and we'd go into New York City and get lost and tell each other, we'll meet you in Harlem. We used to play hide and go seek freshman fucking year. on THC Crystal in fucking Harlem. So we get off the bus on 42nd Street, and we go, dog, we get a hot dog, we'd smoke a joint, whatever, and then we go, all right, we'll meet at 143rd Street, by my godmother's house. How you get there is up to fucking you. And we meet at 148th Street like an hour later and then lose each other again until we got to George Washington Bridge. It was like blackouts. Like you'd bump into these kids, but it was fucking fun. So I said, fuck it, let's do this every week. So every Sunday, my mom went to the track, the Aqueduct. Fuck it. Like early, like 10 o'clock, and me and Carlos Perez, this little Cuban kid, would get a $10 bag of THC Crystal and an 8-pack of Lowenbrow. That's when they used to make 8-packs and shit. Lowenbrow was old school. That's when you think you're bad and shit. What are you drinking, Bud? Lowenbrow, bitch. And THC Crystal